Go for just, I want you to drill just leg entries. So if you guys need a little bit of like a refresher. So for example, if you're gonna go to Ashi, you can go shin to shin, up, sweep down, and the standard Ashi, right? If you wanna go to saddle, I can do the same thing. Single leg, she drops to her knee, right? I can go foot to foot, extend, elevate, come underneath, and I can go to saddle, right? You can do saddle from X guard, right? So reverse X, elevate, right through you can go. You can go to Ashi from standing, right? Coming in, stepping in. Palm left for that. When you're an outside Ashi, you can go to 50-50. So the goal is just get like muscle memory, get back into just drilling your entries into either 50-50, saddle, or any type of Ashi. Sound good? All right, with your partner, please. 1, 2, 3. Connection, right? Because I noticed that whenever the person you're attacking tends to move, we lose control. So let's say I have Ashi on Jimmy, right? When I have control, if my legs are all free, right, and he's just moving, I don't have any control over him. Just remember, you're always trying to close that gap and keep it nice and tight, right? I'm not even gonna like overhook here, I'm just keeping it tight. So now if Jamie were to like stand up, right, I wanna maintain this connection the whole time, right? He goes back to his butt, he rolls over this side. I wanna maintain my connection with him the entire time, right? I'm not losing my legs. And so this drill that we're gonna do is just focusing on staying connected. He goes the opposite way, right? I'm gonna stay connected using my head to post. The same thing works for like 50, right? Obviously, I'm not trapping the heel, so he's free to spin, right? So let's say he goes all the way over here. I need to stay connected on that leg the whole time. He goes the opposite way, right? He scoots back, right? Scoot back, yeah. I need to stay connected the entire time. That's what the drill is. He stands up. I also need to make sure that I'm staying connected on him. So we're gonna go saddle, 50-50, and any type of Ashi. Your partner is just gonna be moving to try and, not necessarily shake you off, but notice how you have to maintain the knee line and stay connected with your partner, right? So that's the whole drill. We're not like learning anything new. It's just about trying to stay connected and see how our body responds, right? Especially when they start spinning, how are we gonna make that turn, right? So if I have that Ashi again, right? So you have to think about when he's spinning this way, how am I gonna make that spin? Am I connected where I only have to use my head? Do I have a post with my hand, right? Are my knees too high up? So as he goes, you have to adjust, right? Adjust according to your position. Same thing, if I'm here and then he goes, right? I'm adjusting based off my position. So try with different degrees of connection with your hands, but ultimately your legs have to be solid, right? Any questions? So it's just 10 minutes. We're not resisting. We're just trying to make our partner disconnect, and you're just trying to stay connected the whole time. Okay, so try those 3 different positions. All right, any questions? All right, 1, 2, 3. So let's say I have Ashi on him, right? The knee line means that his knee is in between my hips and my knee. That's what we're talking about when we're at knee line. Because same thing, when I'm on outside, I'm still controlling this knee line, right? So if he were to shed this and hop over, right? I don't have connection with that knee line anymore. So what I want you guys to do is start in a position, right? And then he just escapes just to clear his knee line. So let's say he pops over here. So anytime that you have like a connection, right, and you have the heel, the straight ankle, it doesn't make sense for you to continue to attack unless you have knee out control, right? So here, it doesn't make sense for me to continue to attack when I completely lose this. So as soon as they clear the knee line, now I want you to think about how you can get that knee line back by maybe scooting in or pulling to the opposite side and scooting, getting this knee line back, right? So if he scoots, I can go. And basically, it's just a drill where he's escaping like 50%, I'm gonna let him go, and then I'm gonna figure out how to get it back. Same thing like if I'm in saddle, here, and then he starts to push this away, right? Where am I gonna go from here? What does that make sense? Does it make sense to go on this side and then start to scoot this in? Does it make sense to abandon it, right? How am I gonna start to work from here, right? Especially if I have like a bite on the heel and then he starts to push away, where am I gonna go from here? And that's where I want you guys to just think about it a little bit, because a lot of times I'll see a heel hook. Someone starts pushing out and now they're still trying to crank this and they're just trying to follow, and now Jimmy's getting his base back and he's just gonna start passing me. Same thing like 50-50, right? If I'm starting to thread this down and I'm almost out, what is Jimmy gonna do? He's gonna grab my knee and recup it and scoot back in. He's gonna re-attack. So think about that, and we're gonna go through a little bit of scenarios, right? There is no right answer, but the only right answer would be making sure you maintain the knee line back, right? But one thing you can't do is if I completely lose everything here, and then I'm trying to like, you know, submit this foot when there's no control. But I can get different grips to kind of scoot back in if I need to, okay? Questions? Okay, your part? Yes.
Can you show some quick examples of how you would probably for example, of how you would do it for saddle to get the line back or like the
Yeah. So the one that I first showed is when he starts to push, right? I like to pass this. As long as there starts to get a bend, it changes the dynamic. Even if, like we're here, I don't feel comfortable at all, and I feel like I completely lost it anyways. But I can stop him by creating that bend, starting to scoot in, and now I'm like in a reposition where I'm getting it back, right? Let's say that he starts to spin a little bit and I start to lose it, right? I can always re-pummel to get it back by just doing a little bit of a spin. Same thing like if he stands up. Go ahead and stand up, Jimmy. And I start to lose this position, I can come back and go for like a 50-50 to get that knee line back. Even if, go ahead and stand up. Even if he pushes this down and I lose position, there's always an option to get on the inside to re-get the knee line back. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Those are just some examples, right? 50-50, saddle. And I think a big one where people struggle is, and I show this, so go ahead, stand up, Jimmy. So outside ashi. So we're here and he drops to his knee, right? So losing this position is gotta be one of the worst things to do. And a lot of times I'll expand this to try to suck that knee back in. Or you can always go to like your knee pummel, start to extend, and now you can start to re-attack and get that knee line back. So I want you to play around with it and go slow. They escape, like just slip at the knee line. Where are you gonna go from there? Are you gonna transition to a different guard? Or are you gonna just re-suck that knee back in? Or do you invert to take it back in? Okay? All right, with your partner please, 1, 2, 3.